Alright, hello everybody. My name is Nerve Gorilla, and I'm going to try to do this tutorial in one take. So it's going to have all the blemishes, and that's fine, but I ran through it once or twice or whatever. It seems to be working pretty damn good. I'm going to teach you how to not only download permanently DRM-free ebooks from archive.org, and I think there's some other sites that can do it with this, but I'm going to show you how to add something called OCR to that downloaded ebook. Let me give you an example. I'm going to show you what you're going to be able to do, and then we'll get into the tutorial. So I downloaded this from archive.org using this method. This is a book, the Berenstein Bears, whatever. And you'll see, it looks pretty good. And again, the books that you find on archive.org are scans of books. They're not digital from the outset. Now there's a difference. That means that the file size is going to be bigger, and you're going to have different versions of books. You can see there's marks and stuff. This is an actual book that they scan. Great thing about archive.org is that they have access to a lot more ebooks than many other websites because they're actually scanning them themselves. Now, it's very important to kind of notice that there's something on here called Borrow for 1 hour. So it's more like a library than just a place for all out free downloads, permanent downloads. That's not how it works. They're encrypted books. But with these tools, you'll be able to decrypt them, and you'll be able to batch download, and you'll be able to batch OCR. What's OCR? Well, as you can see, there's a little search bar up here when you open this up in a PDF reader. We happen to be using Sumatra PDF right now. So you notice there's a search bar. You can search for text in the book. I'll just type in like elder, and you'll see no matches were found. That means that it doesn't have OCR. It's not searchable text. But you'll see that I have another PDF file here, which is searchable. I'll do the same type thing. I'll type in elder, and you'll see that? It actually finds the text, and you can highlight it too. See that? So it becomes searchable. That's what OCR is. Oh, not only that, you can actually highlight it permanently if you want. And so it's pretty good. I mean, this is kind of what people want. So I'm not, there's all sorts of debates, all sorts of like technical stuff you can talk about. And I'm just going to give you the tools because it doesn't seem that there's a good, decent tutorial out there anywhere. Oops. So it might look overwhelming, my text notes here, but don't worry, it's actually really easy. I'm pretty short on time here, but I should be able to get this up and running and usable in that amount of time. So, number one, you're going to need an Internet Archive account. You can sign up for free. Just get an account and keep your login and password by you, because we're going to have to use that and type that in. But let's just get started here. The first thing we're going to use here, as the guide says, as I mentioned it, VirtualBox. We're going to use that, and we're going to install Debian Linux. So I have all the links. I'll be putting it probably in the description or the in the comments below. So I'm going to hit new here, and I'm just going to type in I don't know, Archive Bookworm. I like that name, Archive Bookworm, because that happens to be the name of this version of Debian Linux. It's called Bookworm. So, and we're going to be leeching books because we're a bunch of pirates, aren't we? So I have it all linked. We're going to skip an unattended installation. And actually, we can actually have this on a pretty small system. You don't have to give it a lot of specs if you don't want. However, I will tell you the OCR process, depending on your settings, can take a lot of time. So you might want to allocate a few more CPUs to it. It's up to you. But we're only going to add 4 gigs and 2 CPUs. Now, this is kind of important. I'm going to put 25 gigs, and I'm going to pre-allocate it. Because if you don't pre-allocate it, and it uses what's called dynamic, like a dynamic disk, I don't think it works right. I could be wrong, but I'll show you the error I had downloading. See this? No space left on device. This is with dynamic when I tried it earlier yesterday. And even though I had 27 gigs allocated with the dynamic hard drive in VirtualBox, for some reason I hit that error. So I like to use pre-allocated full size, 25 gigs for now. If you're going to be downloading lots of books, you might want to crank this up to lots more gigs than this. I'm just doing this as a test, but you can put that as anything you want. I'm going to hit finish here. It's creating the hard drive. Oh, you know what? I'm going to make a couple more settings here. You can go ahead and follow and copy me, especially if you don't know anything about Linux. It's probably a good idea to copy me because we're going to be typing in a lot of stuff, but once we do, it becomes a lot easier. So let's crank the video memory up all the way. Network, I'm going to make sure to change that to bridge instead of NAT. User interface, I'm going to uncheck show full screen. I'm going to uncheck this one too. There, good. And I'm going to hit enter. All right, let's see. Guess we'll put a little bit of music on, I suppose, while we do this. Because you can just follow along and I'll show you exactly what you got to do. There's no thinking involved. Uh-oh, what's this shit? Okay, we're going to go to install here. Second one down. That's just what I do. The old traditional graphics here. And I have some notes here, so this is kind of how we're going to follow it, so you'll be able to follow in video, or maybe even text if I do it well, which I might not. Yeah, I'm a big fan of ebooks, and I like collecting books, and Archive has a lot of rare ones. And the way you can automate this and all the options you have, it's just great. It's like a dream come true, and you better hurry up because it seems like archive.org is getting sued right now. Okay, so anyway, this root password, trust me, let's just skip this part right now and just hit enter. Don't put a root password yet. We'll do it later. And then we're just going to put our name. You can put whatever you want. I just put nerve. And then I put a really simple password because this is just a virtual box. It doesn't matter. You don't want to type a huge password every time, right? All right, I'm going to hit guided, use entire disk. Enter. And I'm going to use the top setting. Write changes. Just installing Debian Linux here. It's pretty interesting. The reason why I'm reinstalling, the reason why I'm doing it from scratch here with a brand new fresh install is because I actually tried this method using Debian Bullseye, which was the last version, and it didn't work. I had Debian Bullseye installed for over 2 months now, and I tried using this method just the way it is now, and it didn't work. Like I had all sorts of like Python issues, and it was kind of a mess. So I found this way. I tried it a couple times, like I said, before I make this video. And we're just going to roll right through it. And you're going to see how great it is. Man, it's great. It really is. You're decrypting ebooks. You're permanently owning them. They're becoming DRM free, which is the way the internet is supposed to be. DRM free, baby. All right, I'm just going to hit... Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say anything here. This is the important part. We want to uncheck both of these because we're going to all text. We're not going to have an interface, and we do want SSH server. That's very important because we're going to be using PuTTY to connect, and I'll show you what that means. Go ahead and hit enter. Those bottom two. SSH and standard system utilities, those bottom two. Linux is very good for things like this. I've always been a Windows guy. I like looking at my PDF files in Windows, but Linux is pretty good for doing the work. Now, yes, we want to hit grub bootloader, and I'm going to select the bottom one, which is the hard drive. Links will be included. For instance, this is the exact link for the Debian ISO. Probably doesn't have to be this exact one, but if you have errors, try to use exactly what I'm using. I mean, there's people with all varying different types of skills out there. Some of you are looking at me like, what an idiot, probably right now, but that's okay. I got it working, so I'm happy about that. I looked everywhere, and I had a hard time. The information is out there on forums and things, but it is kind of hard to kind of collate all the information into one simple guide. All right, now that we're in Linux, this is what Linux looks like. It's just this for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to first thing we're going to do is we're going to type sudo pass. Or actually, we're going to log in. I made the name nerve, right? Simple password. All right, now that we're in, I'm going to type sudo passwd, and we're going to type in a new password. This is the root password. Now to get to root, we're going to type su space hyphen. Maybe I should be zooming in right now, huh? Okay, now type the root password, and now this means root. That's what that means. So I'm going to follow along here, and I'm going to type exactly this in, starting with nano / etc. /ssh/sshd config, enter. And we're going to scroll down just a little bit and you'll see the word permit root login. We're going to delete that pound sign from the end there by hitting delete. We're going to hit end on my keyboard to go to the very end, and we're going to backspace through this stuff and type yes. So it's just going to say permit root login, yes. And I'm going to hold control on my keyboard, press O, and then enter. And that's going to write it. To close it, I hold control and press X. Okay? Now that that's done, what we're going to do is actually use putty. Because this screen is very ugly and you cannot copy and paste. We need to be able to copy and paste. So I've got putty installed here. Oh, I guess I'm going to need the IP address of this. So before we actually go on to putty, we need an IP address. So I'm going to type the next line, which is apt install net-tools space-y. And it's going to allow me to type the command ifconfig so I can see my IP, which is 192.168.1.193. So I need to just take note of that, because we're going to be entering it right here. 193, right? We're going to name it archive bookmark, or bookworm. Save. Archive bookworm, we're going to double click it. Now it's going to open up putty. It's going to say yes, accept. I'm going to log in as root, and I'm going to tell my root password. And it should, oh, you know what I forgot to do? Forgot to do one thing. Sorry, I missed this part. You do have to type, after you set that permit root login, you have to type /accept/init.d/ssh restart. There we go. Now I should be able to log in. Sorry about that. That's, I guess, what I get for... Well, let's just close putty and restart that one. Reopen this. I guess I probably shouldn't have done this, you know, live. But let's go to archive, actually, what was that? Was that archive bookworm? Root? Sna. Alright, good. Now we're in. So here's what, now we can copy and paste. And that's the great thing about putty. We can copy and paste stuff. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the next one, make a little bit faster boot by copying this line, nano. Grub. We're going to go down to grub here. Set the top one to 1, the bottom one to 0. Control O, enter, Control X. Then we're going to type update grub. Well, actually, we're going to copy and paste it because we're lazy. Then we're going to type shutdown space R now. Don't worry, I know this is kind of like just a preamble to get to the real stuff, right? It's not much more of this. We just about have the tools. Once we get the tools, we can get rocking on this. We're getting close. So let's go ahead and open putty again. We're going to get rocking. Should be back up, right? There it is. Root and my password. All right, next. We're going to have to change directory. That's what CD means. We're going to change directory to home/nerv. And we're going to put stuff all in here. The first thing we're going to do is apt install git. All right. I don't know if anybody wants to know even what's going on kind of in the background. Some people don't want to be overloaded with information. Others want to know exactly what's going on. So you're kind of at the middle ground. So anyway, we just did a git clone for this. This is the archive downloader. Now we're going to change directories and go into the folder, as you can see, archive downloader. And then from there, we're going to install pip. Next line down. This will be finished, and we're going to do the next line. I'll get that ready. I'm alt-tabbing, by the way, to switch between the two screens. I'm using this program here in the background, a text document. It's very good for just instantly copying and pasting. All right, now let's do the next one, which is Python 3 XYZ services. That's done. Then we're going to do this break system packages thing. And this is, again, how you get it done. Now we're going to install OCR my PDF. And we're definitely going to need this next part, which was a little bit tricky to finally figure out because not a lot of tutorials are accurate, because every different version of Linux and every different, you know, every different update you could have totally different results, and that's what kind of sucks about Linux, and you got to find workarounds. But this, as of right now, 4/18/2023, it works. So as you can see, we just installed OCR my PDF, and I backed up a directory. Now I'm in the nerv folder right now. So from here, we're going to do another git clone of JPEG2 encoder. Now this seems a little controversial because a lot of people are saying that there's a patent on this and it's copyrighted or whatever. Anyway, we're going to still install it and use it. So we're installing some libraries that are required for this, and then we're going to change directory to the folder it made, and then we're actually, what's kind of strange, you might be curious about this, we're not downloading this package. This isn't a pre-packaged package. This isn't a program here we're just installing. We're actually compiling it from the source code and installing it ourselves, which is, you know, really cool to do because it's so fast. Check it out. This is Linux. I like that. So we'll do this configure and make thing, and I'll prove it right now by typing. Okay, right now we're compiling the source code. I'm going to type JPEG2 and hit enter, and you're going to see command not found. That says that's not installed yet. See, I'll type it again, JPEG2. See, now we're going to type the next line, which is actually going to install it from the compiled images we just made. There, it's just okay. Now it's just done, and I'll show you again. I'll type it again, JPEG2, enter, and now we have it. See, we just installed from scratch from the source code, which is pretty unique. I like that a lot. Well, maybe not unique for Linux, but anyway, let's move on here. Now we got to download and OCR books. Let's go. So we're going to backup directory. I know I can type cd ... but I'm just pasting because I'm lazy. So we're going to go back to the archive folder. Now this is going to be the main folder that you download everything to. archive.org-downloader. So you don't have to memorize it or anything, but just kind of know where the folder is so you can find your way there. Now the command in Linux ls, enter, is going to show you a directory listing of what's in the folder. And right now there's only 3 files. There's this one, which is a Python file, a README file, and a requirements file. Don't worry about any of them. We don't need those. We're just looking what's in the folder right now. So let's download one ebook, and here's what you type. Here's the actual command, and you don't have to memorize this. It's why it's good to kind of have a text document to put it in, and then paste it into PuTTY. Now, what does E mean? That's your archive.org username. It could be your email or whatever you sign up with archive.org. And of course, -p is your password. So you'll be replacing this with your own email address, and you'll replace my password here with your own password. Now, don't let people get a hold of this. You can see this right now because by the time this video comes out, I would have already changed it, so you can't get into my account. Just letting you know. Now, this R0 is basically the highest quality, and then the -u, that's where you put the link to the archive book. And we're going to do this one. Let me double click it and just show you ahead of time before I download it what it looks like. Okay. So this is just the Berenstein Bears, show some respect. And as you can see, it says borrow for 1 hour, meaning you won't permanently own it until we type this line right here, which is what we're about to do. I'm taking this whole entire line right here, copying it, going over to Linux. Let's clear this by hitting Control L to clear the screen. I'm going to right click on my mouse, and that's what pastes. Enter. Now it says 1 book to download. Successful login. It is logging in, and it is downloading that Berenstein Bears book that I just showed. Yeah, it's not a fancy it's not like a fancy GUI with buttons and stuff. I apologize. I didn't make any of this stuff. This is from other people who are, you know, obviously way better than me at this kind of stuff. I'm just showing you how to do it. All right, now it says we got a PDF. It's saved as a PDF, and the book has been returned. So we temporarily loaned it, told them to look the other way, and we gave the book back, and we mysteriously had a full copy of it. That's exactly what it just did. Well, how do we prove that? Yeah, you have to get a program called WinSPC, which I have linked, and we're going to have to make a new session. It's like an FTP, right? You know what? I should probably write that IP address down. So let me type in ifconfig again and copy this IP, because I don't want to have to memorize it. I'm just going to put my IP like here real quick. Okay? All right, let me copy the IP. We're going to open WinSPC now. Now, this is going to allow me to log into my Linux computer and my Windows at the same time, so I can copy and paste files back and forth between the two. It's how I'm going to go get my PDF files from Linux and put them on Windows. So I'm going to make a, I'm actually going to copy one here. Let's see, let's do a clone to new site. And I'm going to paste the IP. And we're going to save it as archive bookworm. All right, we're going to hit login. And it's going to say, you know, oh my God, what's going on? Just hit yes. And now it's going to want the root password because we're logging in as root. I guess I didn't mention that, but if you noticed, let me close this session one more time. And if you notice, you want the username as root, port 22, the IP of your new Linux machine that you just made, and your root password. Simple enough, and then you just log right in. Okay, well it should save it. Actually, let's save that, because I don't want to type that every time. So, put the password here, and it should save it permanently. Oh, save password, here it is. It says not recommended, but I don't care. Alright, I'm in. So now it's just like a folder, it's just like a directory now. So where was this PDF I just saved to? It's in the home nerve folder, because that's where we saved it to. Archive downloader, and there's the PDF. You see that? Now, let's, I'm gonna hit F6. F6, actually, yeah, let's do F6. F6 is gonna take that file and move it over to the PC, my Windows machine. F5 would just copy it. We're gonna F6. Now we're gonna look at my actual Windows PC and we're gonna open it up. And here it is, just downloaded. There it is. It's not OCR'd yet, so I cannot search any files. I'm gonna type in Elder again. See, can't search files. So, oh, and you know what? Maybe I should download that one more time. So let's say I want to download it one more time. I hit up on the keyboard, up, enter. Because PuTTY remembers your commands, which is pretty cool. So as that's downloading, I'm going to move on to the next part here. So we downloaded it, successful. Looks pretty nice. Text is not searchable. So here is what we're going to do to make the text searchable. We're going to type this command in, Linux, OCR my PDF, and then the file name of the first book, and then what it's going to output to. We're just going to output it to respect that PDF to save time. And then we're going to use this thing called JPEG2 Lossy, which is one of the programs we installed, Optimize 3. That's going to actually shrink the size of the PDF. Because some PDFs you download can be very large in size, but this will shrink it with losing almost no quality. And there's a lot of debate about that. Some people want zero quality loss, some people don't mind lossy, but it's totally up to you. You can change it later on if you want, but it's a good start here. So we're going to paste that line. Now that we have it by typing ls, I can see the file is back in there. So I'm going to right click on my mouse and hit enter. Now it is implementing OCR, as you can see, and there's actually a progress bar. So it's going to go. I have not seen any of these fail yet. What I mean is that I've tried other archive.org download programs. There are other ones such as, I don't know, let's see, where is it? I guess maybe I don't have it. But there's other ones like, starts with a D, I forgot the name of it. Let me go to GitHub. Is this it? Okay, de-guru or something right here. This is kind of like another version of downloading archive files and stuff. And I'm telling you, I've had errors with that one. But so far with this method, I've had zero errors downloading. So is it finished? Oh, it's still going. Yeah, this OCR, depending on your system specs, depending on your hard drive speed, depending on all that stuff, it could take a little while, which is kind of nice about the whole batch thing, because you can load up your computer with a whole bunch of PDFs, hit your OCR, go to sleep, you wake up, and you'll have everything beautiful. And we'll talk about that, what the batch script does. So yeah, F5 to copy, F6 to move. It's kind of nice to know all these commands. It's really great. I love permanently owning things. I do not like the word borrow on the internet. When I see the word borrow, my jaws tighten up a little bit. All right, how much time are we at right now? So I've got about 30 minutes left before I have to go. I think we're well within our time frame here. So if after this is done, let's. All right, now it's done. I got to copy it over, so I got to get back in here. But I don't see the book in WinSPC yet. Well, the reason is because on the right side here in Linux, we got to hit Control R to refresh it. There, I see the book. So I'm I'm going to copy over respect.pdf, and I'm going to delete the original. All right. So let's open the respect.pdf, and as you'll see, I'll type in elder, and we are now in business. We can now search text. There you go. All right. Now, those are for single downloads. Nice little tip here. Actually, I'll talk about the tip later. I'll show you how to, if you just want to do one at a time, I'll show you a kind of an easy way to do that, but we'll get into that in a second here. Let's clear the screen with Control L again and move on to the next part. Batch downloads. Let's open up archive.org, and you can sift through a bunch of different books. So one cool thing is that on the left side, when you're searching books and you only want to find these ones, you can hit lending library when you type in a search for a book. That way, only the books that are, you know, borrow for 1 hour will come up. There are free books on archive.org, but not all of them are free. So as you can see, just to give you an example, there are 2 different versions of this book right here. Why Evolution is True. They're different because you can see all the data at the bottom here. It's very different. They look similar, but who knows which one is the best quality? Because when you hit a couple pages to see kind of the quality, you're going to see right away it's very eager to close. See this? Limited preview. Use your free account to borrow this book and gain access to all pages. So before you can even really start looking at the quality, it slams the book closed in your face. It says, no, man, you're going to have to borrow it. So you're like, okay, you want to mess with me, archive.org? Oh, okay. All right, so that's the back of it. Here's the back of it. So they're, as you can see, they're different. So, you know, it's a very interesting little hobby here that I'm kind of developing, is downloading all these different books. But anyway, we want to batch download now. So the way to do that, let's see what I actually don't even remember what I wrote here. Because these are scan books, not genuine books, the quality will vary depending on what you click, so pay attention. This was one of the books, I think. Yeah, okay. So let's copy that URL. Okay, so anyway, let's first of all, let's do what we got to do. Make sure you're in that directory, that archive.org folder, which we are. We have to create a text document for batch downloads. Any name works, so I choose dl.txt. They must only include book links. So I'm going to type nano in Linux here, nano, dl.txt. It'll open this window. And now we have to start pasting links. So let's paste a couple here. Those are just links. Make sure there's one line, one link, right? So we got 3 here. Let's just do 3. I'm going to hit Control O to save it, Enter, and then Control X to close this. All right, now we're back here. If I type ls, you can see we have dl.txt right there. Okay, so we're going to execute dl.txt. It's just a text file with 3 links in it to books. So how do we do that? Here's the command right here, which I will be linking as well. It's kind of the same as the one we did before for the single book. That was -u, but this one's -f, and then the name of your text file, whatever you name it. So just take the whole thing again, right click, enter, and it knows that there's 3 books to download right there. 3 books. Successful login. It is doing the first one. It shouldn't take that long because they're pretty small books. Letter to a Christian Nation by Sam Harris. I actually have the physical book behind me, so I can actually compare it and see how good the scans are from archive.org. But it's a small book, so it's pretty fast. And I don't know how to speed this up. Maybe there's a way to speed up the downloads. I don't know, but you are kind of subject to archive.org's servers, and they're kind of hammered all the time by the sounds of it. By the way, you can open multiple putties and be downloading multiple things at the same time. You could be doing OCR encodes in one window and then downloads in another window. You can do it all synchronously on Linux, which is pretty awesome. And I don't think there's a limit on putty windows. So again, you're really limited by your computer speed, your internet speed, and memory and all that stuff. But this makes it very lightweight using putty in Linux here, so it doesn't take a lot of resources to kind of do this stuff in the background as you're doing other stupid things, you know, browsing Facebook or Twitter or whatever the hell you do with your life. I don't know. But I like this kind of stuff. There's so much to learn. There's so many books there. I found books from like the early 90s that I always wanted, but you can't buy them, even if you wanted to buy the ebooks or sometimes even the physical books. So I am very happy that archive.org exists and that they're preserving all these things. I never used archive.org for books until recently. I've always used it for software, ISOs, operating systems, things like that. And it's always been really great for that. But now with this whole book thing and decrypting these things, it makes it so much more valuable because I love books. And I love, oh, by the way, one thing I didn't show is that not only does it have OCR now, I forgot to mention that. That second one we did, not only does it have OCR, but look at the size difference. It cut it in half. And I will compare just right now while we're waiting for this to download. I will open this one and I will open the second one, and we will compare them side by side. So we got two open. So this, let's see, this one right here is the regular one, and this one right here is the OCR. And let me zoom in on this guy, on both of them. Try to get, you know, close to, actually we'll do, yeah, I'm all tabbing between both of them. The quality is almost indistinguishable. Let me zoom in on some text here. Oops. Accidentally. That's the thing about OCR is like when you're trying to scroll around, sometimes you'll highlight on accident. So OCR, you know, you might not want it, but I really like OCR because you open up a big book, you want to find the text you're looking for, right? You want to be able to highlight text. It's so nice. But look at the quality differences. You can't even really tell. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here and just kind of Alt-Tab, and you'll see. I mean, it's really close. So you got one that's what the Optimize 3 command is. So it's fantastic. I love it. All right, let's get out of here. This should be done downloading, and it is. Let me clear the screen, and let me open Win SVP again, and Control R to refresh, and you'll see we got some books here. Let's three new books, just as we had, and we're gonna. Oops, I didn't want to cut them. I wanted to copy them. Let me copy these back. We can make copies with F5. All right, now that we're got these open, let's open it up. Okay, there's that. And here's the other one I downloaded. Why evolution is true. Look at that. It's beautiful. So there's that. And again, these are not OCR'd yet, but look at how great that is. Now, these are DRM free. I could put this on a website right now and share it with my friends. For instance, so this file is 194 megs. I can go to catbox.moe, for instance, and I could just drag and drop why evolution is true, and I can send the book to my friends right now. So I could do all the work and just share. So anyway, let's get back to it. We got to go here pretty soon. So, tip. A trick on downloading a number of single books at a time is to just enter this in the command in PuTTY and press enter. Here we go. So we're doing a command here ending with -u space. Let's take that and paste it. Hit enter. Well, you didn't put a book URL in. You didn't put a book link in there, so it's not going to download anything. But PuTTY, you can hit up, enter. See? So let's copy something like this here. Actually, this older one here. And we're going to up, right-click, enter. And then we're going to find another book, because that's going. Hey, this one looks kind of cool. So we're going to right-click, copy link, Alt-Tab. Well, it's not ready yet, but let me cancel it and just show you. Then I'll hit up, right-click, enter. See this? So there's another book right there. So that's one way to kind of do one book at a time, is with the whole up enter thing. But if you don't want to do that, you want to batch it and have them do all automatically at the same time. We're going to do this. This is a little script we got going on here. We have to make a script to do this batch OCR. And what this script will do is it will, 1, add OCR searchable text. 2, it'll clean each page of artifacts, or do its best. And then it'll do something called de-skew, which straightens crooked images to help improve the results of OCR. And it will also compress the PDF for a smaller file size. This script is highly configurable and is completely up to you to modify, as is anything here. So how do we do that? Start from that main download directory again. Let's clear the screen. Should I refresh this? Oops. So we just downloaded this one, and I think it's still downloading, isn't it? Oh, I stopped it midway, so there's a folder here. It doesn't automatically delete, so let's delete that folder, get rid of it. Let's keep these 3 books here for now. Just gonna keep 3 books in the drive. We're gonna do a batch of those 3. So let's say it was, you know, I spent all day downloading ebooks from archive.org, and now I want to convert them all. I want to get, you know, searchable text on all of them. So we got to make a file here, nano. It doesn't matter what the file name is, but I named it ocrall.sh. So we have it nano ocr all sh, and then that's going to open this, and we're going to paste these lines in here. This is the script. Right click, Control O, enter, Control X. All right, now if I type ls, you'll see that we have ocrall.sh. So I'm going to delete that text file. So how you would do that, you just type rm dl. Or actually I hit tab, so whatever. There, I deleted it. I just deleted the text file. Now we're going to do this script here. All you got to do is type bash and then the script name, ocrall.sh. There it goes. It's OCR, all 3 of them. One at a time. And that's going to do a couple different things than our individual download above. Remember our individual OCR line? That was the one with the word lossy and optimize. And this one's going to do a couple more things. That's what the -I means, and that's what the -D means for the de-skew. Again, I haven't messed around too much with this stuff. I left it kind of here because I did a lot of reading before I set this up, and I didn't do as much research as I probably should have. But I wanted to give people these tools to show that it's possible, and have it all in one video ready to go, so you can go do this thing right now and then get more advanced as time goes on. So after running the script, you will see you will have duplicates of all your books with .ocr at the end of the name. Drop these books in your Windows folder by using WinSBC by highlighting them and pressing F6. So that's exactly what it's going to do. I don't know if it finished one yet. Nope, doesn't look like it. It's a little slow on this Letter to a Christian Nation one for some reason. Again, you can add, I'm thinking about adding a few things in here to try to make it faster. One of the things you could do is, like, there's a timeout command, tesseract timeout, something like that, which puts a limit on how much it can wait to kind of fix things, because I've seen it take almost an hour for one book before. And again, you can do a lot of modifications yourself, but you do have the option with that script. All you would have to do is modify that script. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording and wait till this is done, and we'll get back to it. Okay, well, it's still going. It hasn't quite finished. You'll see that there's some errors, tesseract and all that. It's doing its work. It's doing its normal thing. So I'm just going to get rolling, even though I only finished one book so far. That's okay. So I'm just going to refresh WinSPC here, and you'll see we have a new file here with a .ocr file extension at the end. That's the new one that we just generated. It's not an OCR file, it's a PDF, but we added that with our script. We just added that just to make sure it doesn't overwrite the original. You have to have it named differently. So that's how we did it. And that is right here. See that .ocr at the end? That's what that does right there. So you can change that to something else if you want. It's up to you. But I would just try it this way first before you get familiar, and then get familiar later. So let's copy that over, and we'll do a comparison. So I'm going to empty these two out. We're just going to do a comparison here. We're going to send over Letter to a Christian Nation normal, and then the OCR. Again, remember, these are not the single OCR line. This has actually done a couple other things versus our first line. Once again, our original OCR line was right here, where it does optimize 3 and lossy, which is a little bit different. We're not actually doing that command right here. That's what, that's something I'm still haven't quite figured out yet, if I should put lossy in here or not, or what. But we'll talk about that later, I suppose. If I do if I pin my own comment and mention anything about it, you'll be able to see if I found a solution or found a better option. Okay, but let's open that up. Then we copy those over, and so we have to rename it. So I'm going to just hit rename here, and take out the OCR and name this 2. Okay. So you look at the file size difference: 28 megs and 60. Once again, it halved it just by that one batch command we did. So let's open the original here, and then the modified one. And you'll see that if I switch between the two, I'm going to actually full screen it here. If I switch between the two, it actually rotated it a little bit. I'm pretty sure that that's what that, I keep forgetting the name because I'm kind of new to all this anyway. De-skew. So it kind of straightens it out. Hopefully, I'm not sure. I'm not saying that's always going to happen that way, but yeah, pretty cool thing. Automated. So again, I think I can search random. Yeah, okay. Random. Okay, let's see. Atheist. There we go. Alright, so there's that. That's the OCR and the non-OCR. Again, let me zoom in on some text here. How about right at the beginning, the first page, and we'll see how much of a difference that, you know, again, it went from 20 megs, or what was that? 30 megs to, or 60 megs down to 30 megabytes. And let's see if that made a huge quality difference. Did it have the quality, the way it have the file size? Doesn't look like it. Kind of rotated the page a little bit, but in terms of the quality of the text, looks pretty damn good to me. Very, very legible. So anyway, I'm very happy with this. That's all I'm going to say. Just to finish up here, let's see. What do we got here? Oh, we got a bonus tip. So let's show this bonus tip. All right, as you can see, I'm going to stop this method actually. You'll see that because we're running a VirtualBox right here, archive bookworm, it makes this little window here, this little taskbar window. Well, I'm not using that. I'm using PuTTY to control Linux. I don't need this one. So we can get rid of that. First, let's shut down the system. System has to be shut down. So we'll type in shutdown space now. All right, we'll close PuTTY, and that's shut down now. So we got to make it to the C drive, program files, Oracle, VirtualBox. You got to make it to this right here. C, program files, Oracle, VirtualBox, and right in this address bar up here, click it and then type CMD. That's a command prompt. Now we just opened a command prompt inside of this directory, which is what we need. As you can see, it says program files, Oracle, VirtualBox. I'm going to copy this line right here. vbox manage modify VM archive bookworm default front end headless. The reason why it's called archive bookworm here is because that has to match up exactly with the name of your VM, which you can get right here in settings, and you can just copy this, whatever your VM name is, and paste it within these quotation marks, and then we're going to put that whole dang command in the command window that we just opened. Here it is. We're going to paste it and hit enter. Done. Now, next time we open it right here, double click. It's loading. You're going to see that it doesn't put it in the taskbar down here, but it is still running. It's running in the background, meaning we can open up PuTTY, double click archive bookworm, and we should connect any second. It should pop up, I believe, unless I blew it up. Okay, no, it's up. Root and the password, and we're back in business. Actually, see, we got to cut. So because we shut it down entirely, we have to change directory to the home nerve and then archive. There we go. And now from here, again, we can get back to downloading. Let's do that single. There it is. Now paste link, enter, up, paste link, done. So there we go. Have fun, guys. Long live piracy.